Glenn Greenwald, welcome back to the program.
Good to be back.
So you just heard what General Alexander said about the specific publications and information that you'd put out in those various Spanish and French newspapers, that actually it wasn't the NSA, he said, but it was in conjunction with those particular intelligence agencies. He basically said that you and those newspapers got it wrong. Listen to what he's saying, and I want you to respond to that.
And the assertions by reporters in France, Le Monde, Spain, El Mundo, in Italy, L'Espresso, that NSA collected tens of millions of phone calls are completely false. They cite as evidence screenshots of the results of a web tool used for data management purposes, but both they and the person who stole the classified data did not understand what they were looking at.
So, Glenn, he's being very specific, and he's talking particularly about the reports of earlier this week, the tens of millions of phone calls in France and Spain. And he said it's completely false. What is your reaction to that?
Notice what he didn't offer, which is any evidence for the truth of what he's saying. This is, remember, an agency that is extremely beleaguered in the middle of a very intense scandal, both at home and abroad. It is an agency whose top officials have a record of lying to the Congress and to the American people through the media, including General Alexander. And these claims, which I was astonished to watch journalists yesterday go on television and treat as though they were the gospel, are simply accusations made without evidence. This reporting has been going on for months, Christiane. In Germany and Brazil, they've never once denied that this reporting is accurate. Suddenly, they make this assertion in the middle of this scandal, and I think some skepticism is warranted.
Well, certainly. Is it possible that you could have been mistaken, that some of these slides, those specific ones that they're talking about, not the other stuff, but these specific ones, and he specifically said that it was not European citizens being monitored, and it was not the NSA, it was those European governments. Is it possible that there could have been a mistake made?
Look, journalists are human beings, and all journalists and all human beings make mistakes. We've been reporting on these stories, dozens and dozens and dozens of articles in countries around the world for 5 months. Not a single one of our articles bears even a trivial correction, let alone a substantive one, because we've been so meticulous. Of course, it's possible that at some point we'll make a mistake. And if evidence is presented that we did, or even an accusation like today, one is made that we did, we'll go and do more reporting. And if warranted, a correction will be issued. But I gathered all the evidence today that I think is relevant to this question, showed exactly what the basis is. Go look at what the NSA says these documents do when they thought they were talking in private, and the basis is very clear for why it is we reported what we did. Of course, all journalists at some point make mistakes, and you own up to them and you make corrections, but evidence has to be presented that that's true, and so far there is none.
Glenn Greenwald, thanks. I know we'll be talking again. Thanks for joining me from Rio.